Last week, I shared my hunger and my thirst to learn a new truth about the Bible. Specifically, what I want to know is how familiar stories and sayings that I'm familiar with and memorized verses, how might they sound different if they were translated directly from Aramaic into English? Because you see, the Bible that most of us use who have been brought up in the Church of the United States or the Western tradition, the Bible we use has followed a long and winding path of translations. The original language of the Bible was Aramaic and Hebrew, closely connected languages, but it was then translated into Latin and then into Greek and then to Old English and the King's English and Middle English and now into modern English. At the present time, there are like 450 translations of the Bible in English that we have to choose from. So, what I want to know is how might the Bible sound different if it were translated from Aramaic into English and without all those other languages in between? Here's Leo. I'm having a little trouble getting him in the camera, but I'm sure you can tell he's here. The Aramaic Bible is called the Peshitta. And frankly, English translations of the Peshitta aren't widely available. You have to make a commitment to answering this question to try to find a translation of the Peshitta directly into English. Sources and resources aren't widely and readily available. At the present time, I have found two that I trust because that's important when you're looking at resources to trust your sources. The first, they're both books, but the first book is called The Aramaic Light on the Gospel of John. And the other book is called Desert Wisdom, and its primary focus is the book of Genesis. These two books were written at different times, different places, by different people, but both are influenced by the works and the wisdom of a man named George Lamsa, who's actually part of the Aramaic tradition and was brought up with the Aramaic language. So as I began exploring these books, one of the first truths that I learned was that it often takes 3 or 4 words in the English language and sometimes several sentences to explain one Aramaic word. And that is because the Aramaic language, like many other languages, one word can explain an entire concept. One word can paint a whole picture. One word can tell a whole story. And the English language which we share is different. The English language, as I know it, really tries to narrow the focus, to be precise, to have a word for everything. So in a way, the English language tries to narrow things down, while the Aramaic language gives ideas and concepts a broad stroke.